Oh my God, you guys are amazing. I had hoped to maybe hit 20,000 by the end of the year, and within just days, you guys pushed it to over 24,000. Thank you so much. I'm currently exchanging emails with a couple of companies, hoping to maybe do a small giveaway once we hit 25,000. So keep subscribing and stay tuned, and maybe you can win some free stuff. So a year and a half ago, I made myself a DIY track saw, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I guess that would actually be MIY. No, DIM. Definitely DIM. It's made breaking down sheets of plywood super quick and super easy, but I felt the time had come to make a few simple upgrades. This one I cut from a full-size sheet, so it's 8 feet long, which has proven to be both too long and too short. When I'm cross-cutting, it's much longer than I really need, which isn't a huge problem really, but it can be irritating in a crowded shop when I've got so much extra length sticking out so far past my workbench. And when I'm cutting a full 8-foot length, having an 8-foot track leaves me no extra length at all. One of the things I like about using this track is having both an in-feed and an out-feed, which ensures that I both begin and end the cut cleanly, and the track takes the weight of the saw at the end of the cut, which is really nice when I've got my arm fully extended and the saw would otherwise want to drop off the end of the sheet. So, upgrade number 1 is to split the track into 2 pieces. A main track just over 5 feet long and a 4-foot extension. The main track will give me a comfortable amount of in-feed and out-feed for full sheet cross cuts, and is a convenient length for most other cuts. The extension will give it the perfect reach when I want to do full-length rips. Now, upgrade number 2 was going to be to fix the main track slot. In the original version, I gave it a little extra depth to minimize friction, but it turned out that created a pivot point that made the base unstable. So I was going to route the new slot to match the thickness of the guide bar so it was fully supported underneath. But I've already created this test piece, and I've discovered that just due to the way this saw is balanced, having the bar along this edge of the foot, even if it's supported underneath, still allows the saw to rock. It doesn't seem to make sense, I know, but I've thoroughly tested this, and it's just a matter of the way this saw is balanced. Admittedly, I could move the bar over, and that would almost certainly fix the problem, but I'll discuss my decision not to do that in the video description. So I'm going to route the slot as before and deal with the rocking next. If you watched the video of the first version I made, you may remember that this guide bar is just slightly over 3/4 of an inch wide, so I have to open up the slot by just that much. Since I made myself a temporary permanent router table, all I've got to do is tap this fence over slightly to correct for it. So no using tape this time. Now back to that stability problem. I corrected for it in the original version by adding a sort of outrigger to extend the foot. It worked great, except there was still a small amount of flex where I had screwed it to the guide bar. But I can weld now, although that's a point of contention within the YouTube comments. So upgrade number 2 is going to be to replace the outrigger with a narrower runner welded directly to the base. I think the commenters may be right. Now that is good and solid. Upgrade number 3. The first time around I kept things really simple and I clamped the track down as one would normally clamp one thing to another thing, but that meant giving the track some extra width just to make sure that the saw's motor always cleared the clamps. This time I'm going to route a T-slot in the bottom so I can clamp it from underneath. can buy clamps similar to this for just this purpose, but after turning some of these cheap Harbor Freight clamps into welding table clamps in my last video, I'm kind of getting a kick seeing how many different ways I can modify them. Now, I realized partway through this build that now that I no longer need the extra width on one side to accommodate the old clamping method, both sides of the track can now be the same width, which means it can now be double-sided. No more flipping the track around whenever I lay it down the wrong direction. Every time. So I guess that's upgrade number 4. If there's anything you feel like you're missing, be sure to check out the video description, and you may want to watch the original DIY track saw video if you haven't already. I covered more of the basics of the track saw there. Otherwise, feel free to ask in the comments. Also, keep in mind, I am very nearly at 25,000 subscribers. Again, thank you guys so much. But like I said, there will be a giveaway. I've got some things in the mail coming here as we speak from a few sponsors. And anybody can enter to win, so I should be announcing that next week, so stay tuned. In the meantime, I don't know, help me come up with a catchphrase? I need some way of signing these things off.